Saturday, July 13th.
This
We're
next
going to give you a
contest is our
prediction.
final opening round match in the Super Indy 18 tournament.
Can't wait to see what the former Ty Dillinger Sean Spears has in store for IWC. But I think tonight's been a perfect 10. What about you, Jay Worth?
So far, it's been absolutely phenomenal. And frankly, as good as it's been, it's only getting better with a matchup like this, Joe.
Introducing first, making his way to the ring from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, weighing in at 230 pounds, he is the walking weapon, Josh Alexander.
Josh Alexander was the winner of Super Indy 15 in the year 2016. He defeated Desmond Xavier, Darren De Niro, and Jonathan Gresham. That's about as 3 different styles as you could possibly get, but Josh found a way around all 3. Can he two-peat tonight?
And his opponent from Atlanta, Georgia, weighing in at 170 pounds, he is the master of the craft, the octopus, Jonathan Gresham.
You go through the history of Super Indy tournaments, I'm not sure anybody, any man, has spent more ring time during the Super Indy tournaments than Jonathan Gresham. How about his victory last year defeating Jackson Argos, Joey Janela, at an instant classic with David Starr in the finals. Gresham is a marathon man. When you talk endurance, Gresham 100% the advantage. Can Gresham do what no man has done before, Jay Worth, and enter the finals for the 4th straight year tonight?
I mean, he definitely has the talent, the ability, and frankly, the gas in the tank. The thing is, you were talking about Alexander and his ability to adapt to different styles. The way he adapts is because his style is so straight ahead and, for lack of a better term, brutal, that he overcomes everything else. It's not so much how do I get around what's coming at me, it's can what you are sending at me get around what I do.
Gresham held the Super Indy Championship for many, many months following his victory. Super Indy 17 was defeated earlier this year as part of the reset button at Reloaded by Big League John McChesney, who made his return to IWC. McChesney himself a winner of Super Indy 4. Here's another stat, Jay Worth. In the 18 years of history of Super Indy, only one man has two-peated. One man has won it twice. That's Super Hentai, and that was a decade ago. If one of these men hope to win Super Indy tonight, they're going to do something that's only been done once before in nearly 2 decades.
And I don't think any of us here need to talk to the level of ability, level of talent that Super Hentai possesses, that he was able to two-peat.
Could you imagine if Gresham two-peats back-to-back?
It would be unheard of.
Unprecedented, to say the least. But Gresham has come in with that mindset. Both these men have had career surges in recent months. It's Alexander as part of Impact Wrestling with fellow Super Indy alumnus Ethan Page. They're called the North. And it's Gresham who has come within a heartbeat of being ROH World Champion on a number of occasions.
I mean, it would be great if Gresham could back-to-back repeat. The thing is, right now, he can't think about that. Right now, he has to think about the vicious wrestling machine that he is in the ring with. He has a ton of talent. He has a ton of ability. But I don't know that I've seen him match up against someone with the size, the skill, and the straight-ahead just power that someone like Alexander has.
And you see Alexander with that almost amateur style headgear. That's not to cover an injury, and that's not due to a especially amateur type style. That's a mindset. That's a frame of mind. That's how Alexander keeps his focus. And that's, you know, when he puts that headgear on, it's time to go to war. And we saw that at Super Indy 15. And how about Gresham's paths? Super Indy 15, it was Shug D. It was Andrew Palace. It was, of course, Josh Alexander. In 16, it was Jay White, Chris LaRusso, and Adam Cole. And we talked about 17. I mean, running the gamut across the board of every experience level, every style, and Gresham found a way out. And the number one way, Jay, where Gresham found a way past them is by outlasting them. Gresham stretched those matches out as long as he possibly could, and with the time limit waived this year, that is in Gresham's wheelhouse.
Yeah, very true. I have always said that Ricky Reyes was probably the best trained as far as cardio and endurance that IWC has ever seen. However, honestly, Gresham is easily tied with him.
And to your point, Reyes, a former IWC champion, winning that title in a one-night tournament. Gresham calls himself, and has been called by many, the best pure wrestler in the business today, and with a possible exception of a man like Zack Sabre Jr., who Gresham met on ROH pay-per-view a number of months ago. I can't think of anybody in Gresham's league. And I know that covers a grand scope, but you notice Gresham, that top wrist lock, but Alexander bridging his shoulders off the canvas to avoid a pinfall. Imagine what we're going to see later tonight if a former finalist match is taking place in the opening round. That's big.
That's huge. And, nope, Gresham up, around, and now almost a Lancashire-style reversal, and Alexander has the answer for it.
And Alexander has the power advantage. Gresham, if he can get free and get over top of Alexander, he can twist that body of Alexander any number of ways he likes. But certainly the difficult thing is getting Alexander grounded and keeping him there, which Gresham's doing at the moment, the step over toe.
And he goes into these holds smooth and easy, which goes to his training and his ability. He's in the middle of his head being squeezed by Josh Alexander's legs, and then he finds a way into. And once again, he keeps finding a way into these submission holds.
Yeah, and Gresham's that kind of guy who's mastered all styles. Gresham, once upon a time, originally protege of the great brawler, Mr. Hughes. And you can't see a lot of similarities between he and Jonathan Gresham, but Gresham went out, toured the world, and learned every aspect, every nook and cranny of this business he possibly could.
Including slap the sides because you'll reach back because it hurts there.
Yeah. That's how Gresham gets the arms of Alexander freed up to potentially be used offensively, as Gresham's doing. Gresham's called the octopus, and that's because of how many different directions he can twist your body and how many different ways he can use his appendages to just absolutely torture you. 2 count only. And drop kick, Alexander ducks, and Gresham goes low. Drop kick next that time.
That kick right to the inner knee, not only does it stun you because you're not expecting that shot, but it weakens up another area that he might be looking for another submission hold.
And Alexander drops the opposition. Gresham back of the head first on the corner. Alexander maybe ready to take over here into the cover, and Gresham slides out. Gresham said when he won the Super Indy Championship, he wanted to face the best champions, and he faced a lot of them, Gorey, Bostic, McChesney. But Alexander looks at himself as a championship reign unfulfilled. Alexander was not able to carry out as champion due to legal issues that kept him from competing here that were beyond IWC. Alexander was competing primarily in Canada for a number of years, and it always bothered Alexander that he wasn't able to end his IWC run on his terms. He could make good on that here tonight. This is a night Alexander's been waiting, Jay Worth, for 3 years every day.
And you have to believe that has to be part of what's feeding him right now, making him
lateral press, 2 count only,
pushing him forward against a competitor like Gresham.
And again, both men are well acquainted because that Gresham-Alexander matchup at Super Indy 15, that was another marathon matchup, and it was after both had already competed twice. So Alexander's proven he can go with Gresham in stamina. On paper, you may not think that. But Alexander's trained like this is the biggest night of his career, just as he did 3 years ago.
Well, Alexander, I've been talking about that brutality that he has, and the quirky thing about it is that normally with that level of brutality, that level of hostility, you don't see this level of technical ability. Normally, if you're that angry and you're that straightforward, you're throwing people around, you're throwing punches. Josh Alexander will slap on a leg lock, will hit you with a heel hook just as easy as he'll punch your lights out and throw you across the ring. He's a multi-dimensional fighter and wrestler, and you have to keep that in mind.
Alexander shrugging off the knife edge chop. We've seen technicians win before in this environment, men like Jerry Lynn. We have seen hard hitters, powerhouses, such as a Sammy Callahan. It has run the gamut here in Super Indy. And you look at some of the stars that have been through the doors, from Logan Shulo to Lince Dorado to Samurai Del Sol, Mustafa Ali, Johnny Organo, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, DJ Z, Cesaro, Jay Lethal, many more. These men are building a legacy on top with those men and dozens of others.
You stand on the shoulders of giants.
A man like Christopher Daniels helped build this brand. He comes back to watch men like Alexander and Gresham take it to a new level.
And you want to talk about people who can be discussed as the best pure wrestlers? You could probably put Chris Daniels in that discussion. I'm not saying he's better than Gresham, but I'm saying he's probably in that discussion.
And it's a very slow tempo by Josh Alexander. It is a halted pace. Is Alexander controlling the tempo? Is he giving Gresham a chance to recover?
Well, I was going to say, you have to believe that slowing the pace down benefits Alexander. Oh!
Finley roll, Gresham hangs on, traps his shoulders for two. And the Itziguri connects. Gresham's feeling the moment now.
Nope.
At Alexander. The Hack Nelson into the backbreaker. He just launches Gresham across the ring.
Just a vertical suplex that once he got him up, he just threw him. That's that brutality that I was speaking to. But then instead of getting on top of him and pounding him, he's slow, he's methodical, he's figuring out the next step.
Well, you can hear the crowd voicing their opinion. I expect a split crowd for much of this night moving forward. But Alexander and Gresham, certainly two men you have to respect no matter who you are. I mean, whoever moves on, we're guaranteed for a hell of a second round. And right now it's Alexander trying to elevate Gresham, who was able to elbow his way free and then cut off the vertical base of Josh Alexander.
And then there was a kick to the knee again, I believe. We've seen Gresham go to the arm for a lot of submissions, but he's well versed in a lot of submission holds. He might be setting up something with that.
Super Hurricane Rana, can you believe it?
Oh.
Alexander, just hurls Gresham to the corner. Alexander shrugging off the pain, double underhook. Gresham rolls through with the Hurricane Rana. Once again, and drops down to the arm. It's a Gresham specialty to wear away at a given body part. And now an ankle lock.
And back to those knees and that ankle.
Will Alexander tap away his 3-year dream? Alexander rolls through, and it's Gresham in trouble. Ankle lock has been reversed.
It's around.
And Gresham.
At one point, I think he was just inviting him to continue kicking him. Oh! Power bomb to the knee.
Yeah, Gresham pulled out everything he had at that point. but Alexander was waiting, and notice the damage that was done to Alexander's knee on the impact, and you can give credit to that in a large deal because of the softening up Gresham's done.
Yeah, Jonathan Gresham has picked his spots and landed shots in at that knee. And Alexander, I don't know if he was like, we'll see. Maybe my knee works. Maybe he thought it was fine right up until it failed him. But now, clearly that knee has a target on it.
And Gresham kicking his way free.
Clapping his feet together and catching the fingers.
Gresham has so many unorthodox ways to trap you defensively. And wrenching the knee in the opposite way it was meant to go. That was uncomfortable. Good grief. If Alexander's knee didn't pop that time, I don't know what'll cause it to happen. Gresham, just with all of his might, wrenching the opposite way it was meant to go, and the opposite way Alexander was leveraging toward.
Exactly. He was fighting against one method of motion. Gresham realized it and just switched and pulled it back, and you just saw that knee quiver when he hit the limit on it.
Alexander kicking away, but it's Gresham. Gresham is relentless. Gresham has tunnel vision when he finds that weak point on an anatomy.
And he's just targeting those kicks to the knee. Again, I would say he has a game plan, Joe.
Without question. And this, again, is reminiscent of their Super Indy 15 clash where the human game of chess went on, and it was an expert effort from everybody involved just to find a weak point, just to find a capitalizing moment, a pinpoint, and Gresham the drop kick.
Solid drop kick. And nowhere to go with that turnbuckle holding Alexander up.
And Gresham now on top. Is this enough? No, Alexander powers out, but Gresham does not release the grip on the leg. Gresham pinned, emphasis on the leg hook, so Gresham would be able to hang on to the leg if Alexander powered out, and that's what's enabled Gresham to hit this variation of a figure four that Alexander's attempting to fight through.
And he doesn't quite have all of it, but he has enough to wrench that knee.
And Gresham, there's the body weight of Alexander able to roll Gresham toward a rope to necessitate a break. If Gresham had another 30 or 40 pounds on him, that may have been inescapable for Alexander. But Alexander a decisive weight advantage, and that may be the only thing keeping Alexander in this match.
Now Alexander giving himself a moment, trying to let that knee, it's not going to immediately heal, but try and get some flexibility back into it, assess the damage.
But Alexander does not see Gresham waiting. Pushing free, double underhook. Gresham counters. You gotta wonder if Alexander could even elevate Gresham at this point. Shoulders down, Alexander bridges up. No sign of knee damage that time. Underhook.
Oh!
Good grief! Double underhook pile driver got him though.
How did Gresham get up from that? That was pure instinct.
Yeah.
We talk about him having the most gas in the tank, but good Lord, I think they just poked a hole in it with that.
And it's a Josh Alexander specialty. He's put away a lot of men. You can call it the double underhook driver, a J driller, call it what you will. But bottom line is, it spiked Jonathan Gresham, but it couldn't keep him down.
You could see he held those hands the whole time. There was no way to block any of the impact. He took it all to the head and neck. And then one good solid shot, and Gresham just crumpled.
Gresham is limp. And we talked about Gresham's endurance. But man, every human body has its breaking point. Has Alexander found Gresham's?
And you have to believe that the referee, CJ Sensation, was looking to see whether or not Gresham could continue there. There we go.
And again, shades of so many battles of Super Indies past, particularly involving these two men, as again, Gresham's body goes limp upon impact.
He is down. He might be out.
Gresham opting not to go for the cover. A spinning tombstone. If Alexander can hit it, it's usually the end. Gresham, I think, realizes this.
Nope. Oh, and a dragon screw leg whip between the ropes so that the knee just caught that rope and got yanked awkwardly down.
It's Gresham using his surroundings to his advantage. Whoa, Spotty spreads out that weight for maximum impact. Gresham not able to follow through with a cover. And a steam, but Alexander's waiting for him.
Another cutoff with another vicious forearm.
Alexander charged in, but Gresham sidestep. Hey, Brana connects. Alexander caught in the ankle lock. Will Alexander tap away?
He's holding. He has himself set firm up to one leg.
Alexander reverses.
The power of Alexander. He has the size and the strength advantage on Gresham.
One of these former finalists, one of these former winners will go out in the first round. Now it could be Alexander, who taps out but back to his feet. And Gresham, deadlift German suplex near fall. And Gresham, a debilitating forearm. But Alexander powers out quickly. Oh, Alexander throws the headgear. That's Alexander trying to get in Gresham's head. Threw him off his game enough to hit the ankle lock one more time.
A double leg trip, and then just right into that ankle lock. And he's just holding him in the air.
And dragging Gresham away from the ropes, and now elevates him into the tombstone.
Just yanked him up high enough to catch the tombstone.
Alexander eliminates last year's winner.
Here is your winner, advancing to the semifinal round of the Super Indy 18 tournament, the walking weapon, Josh Alexander.
Super Indy 15 was Josh Alexander's night. Super Indy 17 was Jonathan Gresham's night. Gresham, a finalist 3 years running, but the walking weapon, Josh Alexander, knocks Gresham out in the very first round. Josh Alexander came prepared, Jay Worth.
And I want you to look at the steely look of determination on his face. You can tell he is ready for this fight, and this fight is all he is thinking about. The brackets are now set, and he has moved on and already begun planning what he's going to do to his next opponent.
Alexander and Anthony Green in the semifinals. Alexander a chance to be the second man in history to two-peat in Super Indy. But let's give it up for what Jonathan Gresham has meant to the Super Indy tournament for the fourth year straight.
Always a fantastic competitor, and you have to believe that he always has a chance to win every time he makes it into the tournament.
It took the very best to overcome Jonathan Gresham here tonight, but we still have so much more still to come, Jay Worth. Semifinals and finals, tag team championship, a Super Indy showcase with the fallen angel himself, Christopher Daniels. Jay Worth, catch your breath. What have you made of the first half so far?